Summer of 1940, German Luftwaffe pilots, celebrating their recent triumph in France, dismissed the British Spitfire as nothing more than a beautiful oddity. Elegant design with no real power, they thought. Perfect targets for their Bf-109 fighters. However, their military beliefs, overconfidence, and even their spy reports were dangerously mistaken. The instant aerial battles started, German expectations shattered as this graceful warplane flipped air warfare tactics completely around. What precisely did the Germans witness in the Spitfire that shocked them, left them searching desperately for solutions, and forced them to completely redesign an entire Air Force's combat methods? It begins with that first deadly meeting. May 1940, above Dunkirk's sandy shores, Luftwaffe aviators searched the heavens for British aircraft. Through their cockpit glass, an unfamiliar silhouette appeared. Slender, beautifully curved wings, completely different from the square, no-nonsense design of the Messerschmitt 109. Inside the cockpit of JG-26, Oberleutnant Karl Ebichusen scribbled notes in his flight journal. New British aircraft. Narrow wings appear swift yet delicate. Our 109s easily outclimb and outmaneuver them. The curved outline appeared more like an artist's creation than a military weapon. Throughout the squadron, the Spitfire was written off as an interesting sight, beautiful yet impractical. Several pilots even mistook it for the more familiar Hurricane, thinking any British single-engine plane with rounded wings was simply another version of the same basic aircraft. The Bf-109, featuring its pointed nose and sharp tail design, projected danger. Its fuel-injected Daimler-Benz power plant represented the finest of German technology. Aviators believed in their aircraft, strengthened by triumphs across Spain, Poland, and France. Statistics supported their confidence. During the Spanish conflict, Bf-109s achieved victory rates reaching 7-1. Over France, they sliced through enemy squadrons with brutal effectiveness. Their assumption was straightforward. In single combat, the 109 would always win. Squadron records from May and June reveal the prevailing attitude. The Spitfire's shape was observed but seldom respected. Personal letters mentioned the English with their graceful wings, yet the mood remained almost mocking. Luftwaffe intelligence documents reflected this smugness, classifying the Spitfire as sophisticated yet scarce, a premium machine but not a mass-produced danger. The genuine challenge, pilots assumed, was locating enough of them for combat. In dining areas and planning rooms, the elliptical wing became a joke. Some labeled it a style choice, others called it Britain's way of hiding technical flaws. Nobody suspected that in mere weeks those identical wings would terrorize their every mission. For the moment, confidence remained total. The skies belonged to the 109. On technical specifications, the Bf-109E appeared unbeatable. Its Daimler-Benz DB601 engine provided smooth, reliable climbing power. No fuel cutting out during negative gravity, no stuttering during steep ascents. German designers highlighted the data. 350 orm at high altitude, climbing speed that outpaced most competitors, and a battle-tested record spanning Spain to France. The plane's weapons were built for devastating strikes. Two 20mm cannons, each shell capable of punching through armor, plus twin machine guns for support. Every technical meeting emphasized the same point: energy tactics win fights, vertical movements, quick dives, fast climbs. These maneuvers had delivered hundreds of victory claims. However, as intelligence updates arrived, the numbers became confusing. The Spitfire's Merlin engine, though appearing weaker on paper, achieved nearly identical maximum speed at roughly 348 mph. Its elliptical wing, dismissed as a design flourish, provided a sharper turning capability than anything the Luftwaffe had encountered. During close-range fighting, this mattered more than pure velocity. The Spitfire's 8 303 Browning machine guns produced a barrier of bullets. Each individual gun was lightweight, but combined they saturated the air with ammunition, lethal at short distance. Even though each round lacked a cannon shell's impact, German strategists, relying on information from previous battles, trusted their advantage. In Spain, Bf-109s had recorded kill ratios as high as 7-1. During Poland's campaign, the statistics were even more dramatic. Throughout France, the 109s continued dominating, outscoring Allied fighters 3 or 4-1. These figures influenced every prediction heading into Britain's aerial battle. If the British deployed only small numbers of Spitfires, as intelligence indicated, victory seemed inevitable. Yet technical studies started questioning those assumptions. Pilots came back from missions describing Spitfires that could turn tighter than a 109, escaping from cannon fire and returning for additional attacks. Weapons specialists observed that while the Bf 109's cannons struck powerfully, their slow firing rate and restricted ammunition meant each shot required precision. Meanwhile, the Spitfire's 8 guns could overwhelm a target within moments, lethal when distance decreased. The gap between military theory and actual dogfight experience was widening with each encounter. August 1940, over Kent and Sussex counties, Luftwaffe pilots launched their bombing raids, anticipating the same simple victories they had achieved over France. Yet during intense combat, everything shifted. Spitfires started appearing in quantities that contradicted every intelligence prediction. Squadron upon squadron, their elliptical wings streaked through cloud cover, destroying bomber groups and forcing German fighters into exhausting circular battles. In his cockpit, Lieutenant Hans Jabs of JG-26 became trapped in a spiraling duel with an RAF pilot. He pulled desperately, but the British fighter stayed glued to his tail, copying his every maneuver. After barely surviving, Jabs recorded in his log, "Never engage a Spitfire in turns. Use velocity. Use altitude, but don't attempt to follow." By early September, this hard-learned lesson was spreading quickly throughout German ranks. Battle reports accumulated on Luftwaffe desks. 109s destroyed in turning duels. Inexperienced pilots shot down attempting to match the Spitfire's maneuverability. Seasoned commanders began hammering a fresh message into their airmen. Strike quickly, climb away, never get pulled into a sideways fight. The traditional strategy, energy combat, vertical tactics, slashing strikes, returned with renewed desperation. Across the English Channel, RAF coordinators took advantage of this division. Spitfires engaged German escort fighters while Hurricanes dove in to attack the bombers. The German strategy to eliminate the RAF from British skies started falling apart as casualties increased and pilot confidence cracked. On September 4th, squadron commanders distributed alerts, sometimes through official briefings, other times as direct warnings over dinner. Stay away from turning battles with Spitfires completely. The elliptical wing, previously ridiculed, now influenced every combat choice. For the Luftwaffe, Britain's aerial battle had transformed into a completely different war, one where combat rules were changing constantly, and every mission brought fresh dangers. German bomber crews, already preparing for anti-aircraft fire and night interceptors, started discussing Spitfires with something resembling fear. Mission preparations warned about their sudden emergence, always at the most critical moments, always in numbers that seemed impossible. Personal letters described the Spitfire as a predator that appeared to emerge from nowhere, unstoppable and accurate. The feeling of terror was genuine, intensified by knowing that interception was nearly certain over southern England. Pilots and gunners exchanged tales of attacks that scattered entire formations instantly, of comrades lost to bursts of tracer rounds from those curved wings, away from the fighting. Luftwaffe technical experts demanded explanations. In October 1940, a seized Spitfire Mark I's, serial number P9386, arrived at Rechlin for complete examination. Test pilots measured every element of its capabilities: turning circle, speed increase, stalling characteristics. The findings left no doubt. The Spitfire's controls worked perfectly together. Its rolling speed was impressive, its low altitude turning unmatched by any German aircraft. Documents spread among squadron commanders, proving what battle had already shown them. This wasn't simply a beautifully crafted machine, but a dangerous opponent. Adolf Galland, leading JG-26, stated clearly in a report to Göring, "The RAF's Spitfire amazed us. It could outturn everything, and their pilots were expert. We lost airmen who thought little of it." Galland's recognition mattered significantly. Fighter strategies changed, and engineering teams pushed for upgrades that would later influence the Bf 109F design and the quick deployment of the FW-190. The Spitfire's fame, earned during summer 1940, lasted for years. For the Luftwaffe, it became the benchmark against which all Western fighters were judged, a reminder of shattered confidence and a costly lesson learned through loss and wreckage. During May 1940, Luftwaffe flight logs initially documented meetings with the Spitfire, noting its elliptical wings as an unusual feature. Within several months, German battle reports and intelligence documents showed a complete transformation from underestimating the Spitfire to identifying it as the RAF's most dangerous. Fighter technical analysis of captured Spitfires at Rechlin proved its superior turning capability, compelling the Luftwaffe to give up close dogfighting for quick strike and escape methods. The evidence clearly shows the Spitfire's influence. RAF manufacturing exceeded German predictions, and its combat effectiveness helped prevent German air control during Britain's aerial battle. The Spitfire's legacy remains powerful today. It represents a proven example where one aircraft completely changed enemy strategies and fighting spirit. Its legendary status was built on facts found in the actual reports of those who initially ignored its potential. What started as German laughter at an elegant curiosity became respectful fear of a weapon that rewrote the rules of air warfare. The elliptical wing that once seemed like mere decoration proved to be the key to survival for Britain and the beginning of Germany's first major setback in World War II. In combat diaries, intelligence files, and personal letters, the transformation is complete. From mockery to recognition, from confidence to caution, the Spitfire had earned its place not just as a beautiful aircraft, but as the fighter that taught the Luftwaffe that elegance and deadliness could exist in perfect harmony.